All right.
Oh, we're back. Time to get to the cooking part of this video series. We're going to make some cioppino out of the Opihi that Brad caught after he risked his life on the ocean. The least we can do is properly prepare it and make it taste good. And that way we give respect to the animals that we're killing. First we're going to dice up some garlic. Chop it up here kind of fine. We're basically going to make like a light tomato sauce. Got some garlic, got some sweet onion, Maui sweet onion of course, got some carrot, got some marjoram here, some Thai basil, celery, bell pepper, lemon. We're going to use the lemon zest, some clam juice. So it's basically similar to a Boston clam chowder or an Italian cioppino. And except we're going to use the Opihi and some local mussels instead of clams from Boston or the East Coast. Everything you want to dice up pretty small. We're actually going to do this over some pasta tonight. So we're going to make it more like a sauce, kind of light, less than like a stew. A lot of dicing. Got back on the stove here, you can see on the cast iron, we got some olive oil heating up. We're going to introduce the carrot, then the onion and the garlic.
Now, how come you have all the cast iron?
It's cast iron superior cookware. It retains, the more you use it, the better it gets. It gets more and more of a non-stick quality if you cure it properly. And it also retains some of the flavors you use. So if you had a pan you like particularly to cook fish in, you wouldn't necessarily use that pan all the time for cooking chicken or cooking beef. There's a lot of flavors retained in that cast iron. And cast iron also distributes heat evenly. Since it's so heavy, you're not going to have a hot spot in the dead center and cold on the outside. You know, everything's cooking evenly on the cast iron.
You have that temperature set at, let's see, 8 out of 10 on that.
Yeah, it's probably about 400 degrees. This oven runs a little hot, so that's probably high on a normal stove. I do the carrots first. A lot of people do the onions first. I like to put the carrots down. Get a little more sweetness out of them. And I don't like to cook the onion quite so much. I like the texture. I like to leave it more like in an Italian sofrito, where you're just cooking it down and the sugars start to break down, but you're not caramelizing it. Stopping just short of the caramelizing. Onion in there. The garlic also, I want to put that in towards the end because I don't want to tan the garlic too much. I want a bright, spicy, fresh garlic taste.
So that's all the garlic right here then.
Yeah, probably do a little more than that. Lemon zest, the herbs, they all go in pretty much near the end.
This is a pretty quick meal.
Yeah, once you get everything in the pan, it's only probably another 20 minutes of cooking. Just simmer it, let the flavors come together. I'm using canned tomatoes. If I was using fresh tomatoes, I would probably add another 25 minutes, half hour cooking time to break down the tomatoes.
You have much difference between canned and fresh?
Oh, yeah, kind of. But some dishes, it's a bigger deal. You know, if you're making salsa, it's a bigger deal. If you're cooking the tomatoes, that's already what's been done to the can. They're cooked, a little salt added. Other than that, they're still tomatoes. And depends on how much you're relying on the tomato flavor. You want to do it in a fresh salsa, but a cooked dish is fine. Especially, you know, we're on a budget. In Hawaii, to cook fresh is actually more expensive. Cutting the little corners. You have a little money left over for Pacificos. Oh yeah.
All right.
Salud, buddy. Starting to get a little tan on the vegetables. You cook them down to they're translucent, which means you just start to see through them. Which that is almost where they're at. Gonna hurry up and get the bell peppers in there. I'll leave out the white. The white stuff is bitter. Skip the pit.
What's the difference between a green bell pepper and a yellow bell pepper or a red bell pepper?
They're actually the same plant. The green bell pepper is just an immature bell pepper. The different colors, there's some breeds, the orange, the yellow, are actually bred. You know, people made those happen. But a lot of the orange, the green are all the same plant, are all on their way to becoming, at the most mature, they're a red bell pepper. So that's why the taste is so much different on a green than a red, you know, a red, yellow, orange, pretty much taste the same, but the green is a little different, and that's because it's actually immature.
It's like biting into an apple that's not quite ripe.
Right, and it has that little kind of tart. But I like it. That's why we're putting it in.
All right.
The bell peppers, they don't really caramelize. There's not any sugar content, so we're just going to heat those up a little bit to get our garlic in, just to warm it through. Say we still want a bright garlic paste, not like a marinara. I think I should probably do one more. A little bit of garlic.
Yeah, you can never have too much garlic, huh?
Yeah, don't really measure everything. You know, just kind of, you look at it, you look at everything else in the pan, and if it looks like enough, it's enough. If you don't think so, put a little more in. The best recipe is a chef's guessapy.
That's why they say a baker can become a chef, but a chef can never become a baker.
Right. Yeah, baking is all science. Can't just decide to add more. So that's it. We'll cut the heat, because that cast iron will keep cooking for another 10 minutes. I was going to transfer.
So what did you put in the pan to begin with? Just a little bit of oil?
Yeah, a little olive oil. Actually, a little olive oil, grapeseed oil mixed.
How much?
Yeah,
Just enough to coat the pan?
Just a couple tablespoons, yeah. Keep the stuff off the pan, even though it's a fairly non-stick pan. But, you know, fat is good, even though it's olive oil, it's still considered fat. I was going to transfer, but I think we're just going to work right here in this pan. Keep it simple. Tomato. Natural clam juice.
It's clam juice?
Clam juice.
I didn't know you could buy that in a bottle.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
And we get some of our lemon zest. I just took it off the lemon with the peeler, and you want to go after it and get all that white off, which we got most of it off. And then, since it's not real good to bite into, you want to make sure you slice this stuff really thin. And it'll dissolve into the sauce.
Well, it's like putting it on a shredder.
Yeah. Probably 2 tablespoons. That and the herbs, and we're just going to let that sit and simmer.
So the heat's off all the way now.
Yeah. Probably should turn that back on low.
I'll get that.
I think I'll do that. Yeah, just put it on like 3.
3 it is. And now this is what?
Thai basil. Any basil will do. This is happened to be the only basil available at Big Save, but it's an excellent choice. Thai basil has a little more of a kind of lemongrass kind of essence to it, or like a lime leaf a little bit. But also very basil-like, but a little, I guess, brighter, pepperier, and a little muskier. It's just kind of what you would think a Thai version of basil would be. And then our other herb is marjoram. Really similar to thyme. Grows a lot like, looks a lot like oregano as it grows. Has a kind of a flavor that's between thyme and oregano.
So you just take the stems off and you're just using the leaves?
Yeah, if the stem breaks in your hand, it's young and it's soft enough to cook with. Like that's kind of more of like a stick. But as you go to strip the leaf, if that pulls apart, that stem's pretty soft. And what stays behind is the thicker part. So usually you get about 1/3 of the top will stay off. Then the lower half is throw away. If you're just making a broth, you could throw this in a bouquet garni, which is just a cheesecloth, and simmer it, and then you just remove the whole thing. The sticks aren't unpleasant, they're just not good to chew. They don't really give a bad flavor. Now when this gets to a nice rolling simmer, let it go for 5 more minutes. You know, all the flavors are melded and brought together, and then we'll add the Opihi and the mussels I bought. And probably a little more liquid. Then we'll get our pasta going. Heat it up.
All right.
All right.